Well, protocol there was different depending upon the countries and their culture. Also, ye protocol no, ye the ahinsem any ye African culture no Afra state issues. Uko different countries obia ni said they are omoyo omade. Na protocol no udu obi kroma e wo fe wutimi ehu nhihye omaye fa event bia mobabedi enti wuhu sa ayi nhihye ni nyina na wadi so American fona kasa no omu shedam pe protocol ayi obi edi omu peyine enim enti wo hwa Donald Trump nama onu kwa na nante ema minu bu kwa omodi she esumasi any protocol me see esumasi is because I don't understand the tree well but
I just it's shrouded in secrecy.
It's shrouded in secrecy nyoma minu na ya omodi yesa security any protocol security no say nipa no nam ho no wo be ka say obi ni nchen so 2-3 days before nipa no man making sure for more circle a certain radius obi antini baho ntini panu kwa nam hono wo de wo fi se onu kwa na nam so they've taken care of the situation already ba protocol nso a bibia da krata so enti e wo se wo hu nhihye a omode ato kwan ansana wa koho na wo du ho a omo be kyerɛ we sia we na besi we sia we na besi enti one fa eno na se wodi wo krom de enu de kwa eya no omu they get angry about it so they can embarrass you mahu video no and I think that is exactly what happened. They were not expecting two people to stand up when the announcement was made. The announcement was made, the introduction was made of President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akuffo Addo. They expected only one person to stand up. And I don't know, na Mr. Hassan, Enuomu Am Peniso, and Mr. Hassan insisted that he would do what he did. Now we have they will also insist on me. You do me mic da. Do me mic. Yeah, you do me mic because I'm making sure say you see President Kufuor nebe kafano. Africa die ye pay yini be kasa eya obi edi neni mana se obe kasa ochami be kan bibi ansa na the mic ama. Wo di sa call no call munche or remote control or the bedroom mic na who ni nti a wo mic ni yejuma ba wo the mic no beto ho na nipa no mo pese obekasa no obekasa until they were expecting only one person to stand up. If you insist on your way of doing things, they will not allow it, and they don't care who you are, what function it is. They will go by their own protocol, and that is exactly from what I see. I haven't heard from Mr. Hassan. Is a very experienced diplomat. Hassan and or experienced career diplomat. But on this occasion, I suspect that there was a disagreement somewhere, and that was what happened. That's what I think happened.
Papa, said you was like Papa Hassan, were you experienced? It is like you should have known. Me kasa better there. Next ko hu se be ade no say and it here. What functions you and me ade nyina pen.
Well, if you are not ntiase na enye juma. And it also depends upon what his president wants. And he what now hono. Anka we will have to know your bold here. When I'll be sorry and I said me no sorry go. Before that, I suspect say the arrangement would have been made and Awuni omobeka until who be di kind before function the best start to crown who be di kind na Awuni omaka. What is the procedure? What is going to happen? So some your money is here, then perhaps That was the reason why Mr. Hassan stood up with the president and walked towards the announcer. But if they did the preview of the event, which is normally the case, you have to agree on the procedure, and sana the announcement is made. Then perhaps there was disagreement somewhere along the line. But the American say, America for they like to see, you see, Obi Bekasa, Pini Bekasa, baby, I'm away class, I'm away program, that's despite Bekasa, Munina Bet, Mobekwa, Kochani, Washia. After wine despite, would the baby not say, we share that name despite that? Then the question you have, which particular one is the despite? That they don't want to live in doubt in anybody's mind. In TFA, His Excellency Nana.
Penimubi, sorry, so was Sani Kotan who was who said Penimuno class.
Now, what this our culture no could do America? You better say, we like to see our president or no one mantino and no interest or nipa. But that's and also normally you've got to agree on these procedures before you even go. Now, you will talk, you will agree, and all. Said me do me mic that because I insisted on what the way we normally do our things, and then they will say, "In fact, I do baby, I won't cash in but they have already taken." What do you call it? They've done something to make sure that what they want is what will happen. And to Ubekwa for mic and say Ubekasa, and mic or my remote control mic and kasa. Then they get their way. So sometimes it's out of disagreement. Sometimes too, it is out of say Yan Sheda and co preview meeting near eventually
Awuni, Awuni was say, what she on the first time I want in Sano was I think a second time was Aquachia.
You see, I think he Mr. Hassan insisted, and then also he assumed, or as you say, in such a large gathering, the man will not do what he did. But Bruni dia or Bruni or Sonya Onye, Upe Ajina for the next 10 minutes on Trinisa. Now he assumed that and you saw he really stretched his hand in such a way that Obiabe who said was threatening. So he thought that by doing that, Papano will break whatever protocol they had insisted on. But the man didn't budge at all, and that clearly makes me begin to suspect that there was a disagreement or arrangement. That is it. But
Mami radio we. Minim se papa no were director of state protocol na meboa.
Oh yes.
Papa mpacho wono ni dwumadie no. Me tell se mampani bi atwatwam kono ya na omo ADC. Ya na mostly no director of state protocol no bi abon se wo ye adwuma behind the scenes no ne ade. We no difference in this say.
Well, state protocol Lankasano, you just want to make sure that your president is comfortable. Your president is comfortable, and that everything has been put in place for the comfort of your president. Inti Achimota school, who bedi kan, wuni Achimota administration betinasi. Inti president ba, oni asimiti nebeba, na yeba, infa na yenjina, why nebeba abishiano, na yeshia niwia. Ekwambe na yedi bekwa akotinafe yebechi ansa na ya akotinafe anafe yebetinafe ansa na ya jenkia ha nhihye nyina wu protocol wu bedi kan say maybe you even send your boys there na mo akoye san nhihye ni nyina point by point stage by stage until say president no betinafe so information na one kata wa betinafe na we brief you president Mr. President, Yekoi, say Nebeshi, Asimesi Nebeshiao, Asimesi Woho, we a had no betina, Naotina, Asimesi Betina Winche, Uberman is information in Nafi, winning after Tino, Muko do a Chimota, now Udinedi, Ghana Hassan, America, nobody is sharing in a better coin. Now they expect every individual to play the role. And normally they don't want anybody to come between them and their guests. They don't want anybody to come between them and their guest. The president is their guest. You are a stranger. That is the way they perceive it. And it's not a difficult thing, but I'm just saying that there's a clash of cultures. You know, and we have to accept it and work with it that way. Omobaha, what do culture be? Asana ya Musa Wahansana, President Bekasano, or President Bekasano, or Mohodi here, but they also accept it. And so I think that we just need some agreement has to come on, then things will be worked out well.
Obani mami radie, mampani o ADC, Papa so jenibi ana ojina ne chiri no.
Aye.
Aha. Enna Papa Director of Protocol no so Mr. Hassani, yete hu se mampani ba ye bibia mu ojina ho, ebi ba bia ni nsuo wo ne kuta, du ba bia what protocol wise no, advisable and a professional say onu anu na eso ye bibia na mum ye delegate because ADC no so ho. Well,
ADC no there. Okay, me ejuma with only one president. So me akania ne ewo. Normally it depends upon the level of confidence the president has with each of his officers. President Akuffo say no onu ankasa ne ma onu omutifie. Nti baby e be ko bia no onu omu na nante. Into about personal things, personal private things, on share officers in some. There be protocol in mean something a personal ma president Akuffo or no one a ma or no motifi. First anum, now on no mutu coin. Into an I do no cry or no or muti impasso bebon comosa no more the massage mana or the other. They are that private life with them into on things in share protocol and some. And the ADC no so on your color. ADC no ye kernel, ye President Akuffo time on no CDS or ye no ye paying. But it depends upon the level of confidence after a while wouldn't no strike here will be to meet the Newman Kitty be action and some. Otherwise his duties are the duties of an ADC and also military forward Montoya or Media Manua Ebe guide no. Protocol officer no on your color. In fact, he's the director of state protocol. And yes, Shultina, Yedina Gina Hawk. But again, it depends upon his relationship with us. Our relationship will be managed to personal and private things like handling water and all that. Sensitive things. And those are things that the president himself would decide who should handle for him. And if the president he trusts Hassan to the extent that he can handle his water bottle, that but otherwise
professionally no
professionally there be professionally that is not the role at all. Professionally that is not the role at all. It is not for you to carry the president's water. It's not for you to carry the president's private anything. But as president, they also always develop certain relationships with their officers. And when they develop those relationships, maybe what we should do is to keep those private relationship activities behind the scenes. But when we come to the glare of the camera, some of these things must be put aside. I don't know, and this, like I said, can't be brave because my experience is only with one.
Because Miss Awuni, Bakubi cry who ye, Nana Winnie, ye no, Omoba, Hotel Georgia Kumasi, thank you, Tono. Even podium no cry, Nana, Ebekasa or so. Papa, and a quatermian would be see ho. I felt him say, and you might be I win na. Anna, Bakwani Pebusan say, he's standing there, no. It do be a, it is going to mean Transakra.
Well, you see, when you be a Juma, you normally know what the person likes and what the person doesn't like.
Okay,
And he also onim nanado papa. Only no aye juma pa. And to onim no. And he knows what his president likes. And see, sometimes those things come into the professional activities as well. On Hassan in President Nanado papa. Only no aye juma of an asset. And sometimes we allow our personal relationships also to interfere with the professional. In the case of Hassan, his enthusiasm, zeal now or demonstrating, a lot of it is private, and he's bringing that into his job. But professionally, but they all know Hassan do no, and yet after no be kwa kusia podium. Now nkwala no mugu protocol no way, and the security one mugu hono more. But sometimes certain relationships also. There are certain dynamics that come along with those relationships. Only President Akuffo Addo papa, he knows him and he knows what he likes. And TABIA, based on that, or only say the president.
Obanye, see to be to say America for the one, Yenim say America says so ba, it be any chief of staff, where the enforcer, the president's gatekeeper. Wamukra, what admit say. An American president doesn't wear mustache. And now Bibisa, who was sending a one Casacra function beyond a chow, when a year, no, you was sad in now. But some America forms on almost bit me, President bit me, I Trump bit me, I said, when but Wamudiano, we are a breach of protocol, almost on penny. Yan, you bet me a baby level, bisa say, your standard in me, saying here, your name, regardless of the relationship with the president and Bia. The protocol officer na bibisa.
Breach of protocol, the MCA protocol, no, it becomes a very because mean shut down means you was in no. Yeah, need President Akuffo Addo now Ambassador Wood and another protocol director. Ambassador Wood, not on shut. In fact, who was up for Bibre and you'll be an Ambassador Wood. Ebia Ambassador Wood, you do event, and after you do event, baby event be take place, or better, president, Kwame. That is it. Apart from that, not wakote baby. The work really is behind, and the work actually precedes the arrival of the president. The work of the protocol and Kafano, it precedes the arrival of the president. And you can afford to do everything that you have to do. Brief your president, and then you can disappear. And then the other aides, like the ADC, President Akuffo said not only at the time, General Aqua, no, very good relationship. And he could whisper things to him and let him do certain very close things for him. Ambassador Wood wasn't that he did his work. He made sure he understood the procedure. He knew what was going to happen, what will happen after this, the various stages. Then he briefed the president. But so I don't think we have a standard protocol that we follow in this country. I don't think so. That book, book be Vatican or more book. In fact, Ansana Yebekwa could do Buckingham Palace na the book about 2 years. We need say. It will be a roller of the Krumaha. We have established that thing. In the protocol directed be of the balona or no introduce it. Obet me you separate in comfort positions be brave. Comfort duties be brave now or the aye because or aye protocol. So I think the question you are raising is that do we have a standard protocol working document that everybody can follow? Or do we come in there with our personal, way of doing things? In the protocol officer, Biabana or the Nidieba. I suspect the latter is the truth. And perhaps this thing should also awaken us to the reality that we need to have a standard protocol document that everybody knows. Protocol director, Ujuman, anything. Or does it really depend upon your president and what your president wants? If that is what we need to do, then perhaps we should do that. But you do know, it appears that most of the time, is the personal relationship that determines the protocol.
Obani, what can ye partner? Ye we are way no the SCA we say a subject to international ridicule and
Oh no, Minkasa as a country, there are many things many groups that happen at such functions, big functions, and people have a lot of different people have suffered little incidents like that. And to me, I don't think it's something that, if anything at all, it is very personal to the protocol director and also to the announcer himself, because then, well, Americans will not consider him as being rude, but the rest of the world that may share our culture will consider that behavior as rude. And we see international
ridicule.
No. Then it could even go both either way. I'm sure, for example, Africans will say, this American is really rude, huh? How can you refuse to shake the hand of a man who stretches out? Because in our culture, in the African culture, it symbolizes friendship and goodwill. So if you reject friendship and goodwill, you are the bad guy. So what kind of international ridicule? It could go both ways. But I think this is a minor incident. It has nothing to do with our country, our policy, our developmental issues. It has nothing to do. No, I don't think so. My answer will be that I don't think so. If it were so, it will even be divided as to who was wrong and who was right. Africans will all go with our African brother Hassan, because that's what we know. Anybody who refuses a handshake will be considered rude. If I walk to your office now and I stretch my hand for a handshake with you and you refuse to do it, if it was on camera, everybody will say, Tikesi is a bad man. So if you say, international ridicule, it could go on both sides.